You know, deep in the heart of Appalachia, there are these historic trails that connect two of America's greatest innovators. And if you follow those paths, you'll uncover a kind of hidden blueprint, a plan for the future of our energy that's actually been hiding in plain sight for over 200 years.
Okay, so it all kicks off with a puzzle. On one hand, you've got George Washington, right? The architect of American independence. And on the other, you have this massive, uncontrollable pillar of fire deep in Pennsylvania. The connection between them? Well, it's surprisingly direct, and it tells us pretty much everything we need to know about where we're headed.
So that pillar of fire had a name, the Murraysville Roarer. It was this natural gas well that just erupted with such chaotic force that nobody could control it. I mean, it was a terrifying symbol of this immense raw power that was just waiting for someone smart enough to figure out how to tame it.
To really get the solution, we have to go back in time to our first George Washington. Now, he wasn't just a general and a president, he was a relentless innovator who was completely obsessed with the idea of self-sufficiency.
I mean, Washington's entire life was just this masterclass in building resilience. As a young surveyor, he was traveling those exact same Appalachian trails, learning the land. As a general, he forged a nation. And then back home at Mount Vernon, he was a tireless innovator, switching crops from tobacco to wheat and building the state-of-the-art grist mill, powered by water, local renewable energy, all to break free from economic dependence on Britain.
And this question he posed to Congress really gets to the heart of his entire philosophy. For Washington, true independence was never just political. It was economic. It was strategic. A nation, he believed, had to be able to stand on its own 2 feet, totally secure from the whims of foreign powers.
All right, let's fast forward almost a century to our other George Westinghouse. He comes from that very same Pennsylvania landscape, you know, the historic heart of America's energy production, to finally take on that untamed, roaring monster of natural gas. Now, Westinghouse, he looked at that roar and saw immense potential, but he also saw the massive danger. The pressure was just so incredibly high that trying to pipe it directly into someone's home would be, well, catastrophic. It's like trying to fill a teacup with a fire hose, a huge engineering challenge.
So he was staring down what seemed like a total contradiction. To be useful, the gas had to be under incredibly high pressure to travel for miles and miles. But to be safe, it had to be at a really low pressure right at the point where you use it. So how could it be both at the same time?
His solution was just an act of pure genius, the mechanical pressure regulator. This little device created a safe interface, an automatic valve that could step down the pressure exactly where it was needed. He basically decoupled the high-pressure transport from the low-pressure use.
And this is where Westinghouse has the light bulb moment that would change the world. He realized the principle he developed for gas, that's what you see on the left, was a perfect blueprint for electricity. High-voltage power, on the right, was just like high-pressure gas. Absolutely essential for long-distance transport, but deadly inside a home.
And just like that, the AC transformer was born. It was the electrical equivalent of his gas regulator. It stepped down the voltage, making electricity safe and accessible for everyone. This one idea is what won the war of the currents against Edison's DC system, and it became the foundation of the incredible centralized grid that powered the entire 20th century.
But here's the thing. That revolutionary 19th century marvel, an amazing achievement for its time, was built for a climate and for demands of a world that just doesn't exist anymore. And today, it is being pushed to its absolute breaking point.
The challenges are just piling up. We've got more extreme weather, heat waves, freezes, you name it, battering the infrastructure. Demand is surging from all the electrification and these power-hungry data centers. And its centralized design, that means a single failure can cascade into massive blackouts. Oh, and trying to get new heavy-duty equipment can literally take years. So what's the solution? Well, it's not just another technical fix. It's actually this powerful new evolution that combines the legacies of both our Georges, Washington's drive for self-reliance and Westinghouse's brilliant engineering.
The key is this device right here, the hybrid inverter. You should think of it as the direct digital descendant of Westinghouse's regulator. It's the brain of a modern home, managing all the power flowing between solar panels, a battery, and the grid. And it performs what you could call a second great decoupling by separating a home's energy security from the grid's vulnerability. And this is a perfect illustration of a core Washingtonian philosophy, self-interest properly understood.
So, an individual installs solar and a battery for their own peace of mind. Then, during a blackout, their home just keeps the lights on. But when millions of people do this, they collectively create a far stronger, more resilient national grid for all of us.
What this technology does is it transforms everyday citizens from just being passive consumers of energy into active prosumers. That is, people who both produce and consume their own power. They become crucial participants in balancing and strengthening the grid itself.
And this new kind of independence isn't just for homeowners. Think about it. Sleek solar shingles that look just like a normal roof, or even simple kits that let apartment dwellers generate power right from their own balcony. This isn't about massive centralized projects anymore. It's about generating power right where we use it, which bypasses all the old system's bottlenecks and land use fights.
You know, when you look back, from George Washington's fight for political freedom to George Westinghouse's engineering of technological power, the path forward seems to call for a new declaration of energy independence. But this one won't be built by a single massive project. It'll be built by the collective action of millions of empowered, self-reliant citizens turning their own homes into the cornerstones of a stronger, more secure nation.